Welcome back to Enlightened Trading. I'm your host, Conrad, and today I'm going to give you a presentation on how to buy Bitcoin for beginners, obviously. I'm going to dice this down to a very simple and easy way to invest in Bitcoin for the average Joe, so that you out there have an easy way and an easy formula to how to invest in Bitcoin, basically. So kicking things off, this content of this video will include various exchanges, buying strategies for Bitcoin, and how to hold Bitcoin over the long term, of course. So the exchanges, what to do? Well, there are various exchanges out there. For example, Coinbase, Bitstamp, Binance, and so on. And usually you would then create an account on these various exchanges. The level of identification will determine how much you are able to invest, for example, per period, a week, a month, and so on, a day. This will be fixated on how well you are known on the exchange, for example, presenting an ID and so on. Then after you've created your account, you would then want to transfer money from your usual bank account to the crypto exchange, where you then have your money deposited. This usually takes 2 to 3 work days, or 1 to 3 work days, depending on when you transfer your money. So then you can finally buy Bitcoin on this exchange, and then you will have some Bitcoin on this software wallet. This is the thing I will get into later this video, so make sure you stay tuned and also leave a like down below and subscribe to my channel. So as I said, you would then have your keys on the software wallet, and this is actually a key point, because you then you don't have your private keys, so to speak. Each account, each unit has a private key and a public key. The public key is well known. It is where people can deposit Bitcoin onto your account, and your private key is actually the key to your account to enable it to then transfer money from this account to another. So this is actually a key point, because your private keys are actually then on the exchange. So the exchange actually holds your private keys and gives you then the possibility to enter your account and transfer money. And that's actually a key thing, because this is something scam people or scams are known for. In Bitcoin, there are a lot of scams, so you want to make sure you only invest in trustable exchanges. I'm not going to tell you which exchange, but I'm going to present you later this video an exchange I've used in the past, and which I think is rather easy to use. So as I said, you usually would want your private keys on yourself, and therefore you will need a hardware wallet. And what this is, I'm going to talk about now. So buying basically in the next 2 slides. So buying strategies of Bitcoin and how to buy it, actually. So there are very simple ways, and these are dollar cost average and buy the dip. These are buy and hold strategies, and I do think that these two are the best for the average Joe who doesn't want to be occupied, who already has a job and does things on a regular basis, and has a life, basically. So you would then want to, for example, as strategies to dollar cost average, meaning buying Bitcoin on a regular basis, for example, per month or per week. So just for an example, like $100 or $500, depending on your risk, on how much want to take a risk. On Bitcoin, of course, it's a very volatile asset and a risky asset in some ways and a very safe asset in some other ways. And if you want to know why to buy Bitcoin and not only how to buy Bitcoin, then make sure you smash up the like button, comment down below, and let me know what you want for me to talk about next. So as I said, a way to buy Bitcoin is to dollar cost average, buying it on a regular basis. Also, a way maybe in addition or to dollar cost averaging, or just to do it is buy the dip, meaning buying Bitcoin when its price had a significant price drop recently. So, for example, we had that very recently, an incredible sharp drop in price of Bitcoin, and this would be in my case, in my opinion, a case where you now could look for an investment or to buy the dip and down dollar cost average as price climbs. So these are the two easy ways of buying Bitcoin. Also, a more different approach, and actually much more difficult also, is to trade Bitcoin. You would therefore need Bitcoin already, so you would then buy Bitcoin, then transfer the Bitcoin to a leverage exchange, for example, where you then trade Bitcoin into US dollar, into other cryptos, into altcoins, and so on. It's much more difficult and another thing for the average Joe and for average people. It takes a lot of practice and experience. Basically, it's just buying lows and selling highs of price. It sounds very simple. It's much more difficult. For example, you could use Coinbase Pro, Bybit, BitMax. These are all leverage exchanges. So that there you could then trade your Bitcoin. But as I said, it's much more difficult, more occupying, risky, but also more exciting. So it depends on what you want to do and how passionate you are about Bitcoin and trading. But for as I said, for normal and standard people, I would use dollar cost average and buy the dip strategies. So then, as I said, there are different ways of holding your Bitcoin, and I mentioned this just recently, and that's on a hardware wallet. So here you have the ledger Nano S and the Trezor. Make sure I will post the links down below in the video description, so you can easily access these two. I'm not sponsored in any shape or form by any hardware wallets or trading exchanges, buying exchanges, and so on. So this is just my own opinion, and I'm not sponsored. So, but for example, I use Ledger Nano S, and I do think it's pretty easy to use. And yeah, if you have a mind which easily gets over some obstacles, then I do think that will be not of a major issue to you to use a hardware wallet. So this is basically just looking like a USB stick, which you put into your computer, and then you transfer from your internet connected exchange, for example Coinbase, software exchange. You then transfer your Bitcoin from this exchange to this hardware wallet. You have a key, a public key, where you transfer it to, and then you are actually the owner of your own public key and private key. And now you have your own private keys and full control of your coins. So they aren't on a software wallet, for example, like Coinbase or Bitstamp, where if these exchanges would get shut down, your coins could be at risk. So for a while, that would be an upside. The downside could be that you now have to take full responsibility for your keys. You have to absolutely remember your passwords, and your private key, you have to write it down at best in multiple places and of your house, for example, or you keep it somewhere safe in a bank safe or somewhat. So you have to make sure your private keys are safe and don't get stolen. So, and yeah, as also they are not confiscatable. So they aren't, as I said, at risk on software wallets. So that is a major upside, and also the reason why I hold the majority of my coins, which I do not trade on a hardware wallet on a ledger Nano S. So the other way, as I said, is a software wallet, and in contrast, might already be obvious. You also have to here remember your passwords, but not your private key, because as I said, it's hosted on the software wallet on the exchange. These are, for example, already, as I said, Coinbase, Binance, Bitstamp, and so on. And also, as already said, you don't have your own private keys, so they aren't really your coins. It's riskier. It's, as I said, prone to scams usually in the Bitcoin environment. I won't say any of these exchanges mentioned are scams. I won't say that, but you know, you are safer off with using a hardware wallet. Also not prone to shutdowns and not confiscatable, as mentioned. These are, though, easier for investors, so this is an upside. So they are short term, especially easier because you don't have to handle your Bitcoin transferring them, mentioning, remembering passwords and so on. But also you don't have full control of your coins. So these are the main topics around how to buy Bitcoin. Hope I dice it down precisely. And just here in the end, these are some links to the ledger Nano S, as I already mentioned, and to the Trezor, and this is actually Coinbase. And I'm going to now pull up, hopefully, if it works. So here now we can go to Coinbase, and this is in German, but for you it would most likely be in English. So you then go to create your own account, and then you would now enter your data, your personal data, and then, for example, you can, if you didn't access your account, you can see your balance. If you have already transferred money, then you can go to trade Bitcoin, and you can buy Bitcoin or other altcoins and so on. I would stick to Bitcoin, especially for beginners. So yeah, that would be a pretty easy way. Then you can transfer it to your hardware wallet or to trading exchanges and so on. So I think I'll keep it at that for now. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you get something out of it. And if you did, leave a like. As I said, follow me, subscribe to my channel. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you guys and girls, you people, back next time. Bye.